Hello everybody and welcome back. It has been a very long time since I recorded a video. 1 or 2 years? I think it has been 2 years, I'm not sure. Yeah, so welcome back, and I'm gonna try to make more videos the coming time. My name is Irma, for those of you that are new. I am a knitter. I work as a hand dyer, and I did a knitting competition called Prijsster. And that's the start of my designing career, because I really want to make knitting designs as well. So what's this space about? This is the place on the internet where I talk about all the things I make. Those are mostly knitting. Sometimes there will be crochet or other stuff, but the main thing I do is knitting. So that is what you will see over here. There has been a few reasons why I didn't record the last how long it was. One of them is the epidemic, because everybody was in the home, my husband, my children, and I don't like to be disturbed when I'm recording. So that was one of the reasons. And the other reason is, as I just mentioned shortly, is that I joined a knitting competition which took more than half a year, October till April, and that took up all of my knitting time and spare time and everything. So yeah, that's the other reason that I didn't have time to record. There are some videos out there you can watch with me in it about that competition. It's called Prijsster. It's hosted by Wolwerkjes. I'm not gonna talk about that over here, because this is my space on the internet, but that's something that has been happening and is knitting related, so that's why I wanted to mention it shortly. One thing will be different than the last videos I did, well, maybe a lot of things, but one thing especially is that I'm not gonna take too much time in editing this. So when there are pauses, or like when my husband would walk in right now, I would mention it and I would cut it, because you don't have to know what I have to say to my husband. But I'm not gonna try to make it fluent. And I know last time I did videos I was cutting things out, and once you start watching yourself you hear everything. So every long pause or annoyed me. So I spent lots of times cutting things out, which is fine. It's still me that you're seeing. But it took a lot of time, and I don't want to do that anymore. English is not my native language, so sometimes I will be searching for a word. Sometimes that word will be wrong. Sometimes it takes me a while to get to the word. And I'm not gonna edit it all out, because it takes too much time. So that's the main thing. I'm not gonna catch up with where I stopped my last video. I start recording again because I really like to share things about knitting, and I noticed that I don't record my knitting so well as I would like to, like in a journal or something. So I wanted a place to look back to and see what I have made and things like that. And I noticed that I'm not gonna watch my videos, but sometimes I scroll through like, what was I doing around that time, and then I can look back and see what I was doing, and I really enjoyed it. So I want to start it again. I'm not gonna go over the past period of time. I will show occasionally something that I finished in this time that I didn't record, just to like when I'm wearing stuff or things like that. But I'm not going over all the makes I did, because that will take too much time and I think will be very boring. So we're here for knitting, so let's talk knitting. I do have a finished object to show you. I finished this, I think, a few weeks back. It only took me 1 week to finish, and I have been wearing it, but I did not make a photo yet, so that's maybe something I will do this afternoon. It is this beauty. It's a Ranunculus sweater. I don't know the designer's name. I will put everything in the description box below, because also one thing I'm not gonna do is putting everything over. I used to put the name of the pattern and the designer on screen like now, and maybe I will do those things occasionally, but I'm not gonna watch the whole video to see what I was talking about and put it there. I will put it down, the video, in the description box, and there I will like write down first pattern shown, Ranunculus, and I will put the designer there. I think that's the way I'm gonna do it. Maybe it will change up again, but that's how I think about it now. So Ranunculus, it's a very popular pattern for years already, and I have never knitted because the original photo that was the promotion for the design, or promotion, like the first photo you see of that pattern, was long sleeved out of thick wool, and as you can see the armholes are very low. So when I was looking at that picture, I was thinking I wouldn't be able to move my hands up in that sweater, I think. So what I did, because I was very curious what all the fuss was about, because so many people are knitting these, that I saw people knitting it without the sleeves and more like a summer garment. So I was like, that's something I think I will wear and want to try. So that's what I did. And you guys, really, it only took me a week, and not a week like knitting all day, just knitting in the evenings and maybe in the weekends. And it just flew off the needles. It has some interesting stitches in the yoke. So some just yarn overs and knit togethers for a lacy pattern, and something with stitches crossing over other stitches. It's really fun. It's I think most of the times when I wear this white shirt, it's on short trousers and a top or something. So I can wear it a few more weeks, I think, because it's still like 27 degrees today, so maybe it's even too hot for today. But I really liked it, and I like to knit, and my mom really likes it, so she's getting one because she is a crochet fan and she crochets a lot, but knitting is not so much her jam, so I will make her one in a very nice darker color. I'm not gonna spoil too much, because if she watches, I don't want her to see it already. So that's something I have been working on. Another thing that is almost finished and needs finishing very soon, because the person that it's for is about to get born, because it's a baby knit and it's way too hot for the weather now, but it will be very nice in the autumn, winter time with a stroller outside. It's like a outside cozy onesie thing. So it has a hoodie, and there will be buttons at the front, and we have, oh, this side is finished. We have sleeves and legs, and what's very fun is that you have this cuffs you can fold over, so you can close it down that it's very warm and the baby is cozy inside, but you can open it up, and then you have like a normal leg opening, and it's the same. I have to close this down, but it will be the same for the hands, so that will be very practical as well, I think. And I really like all the colored flakes in this yarn. It was really fun to knit. It is a wool acrylic blend. Normally I don't really knit with acrylic that often. That's just a personal choice. I don't want to knit with plastic, and I don't like the feeling on my hands. So, but this was for a friend of mine, and she really wanted to be able to just put it in the washing machine and not think about it. So she can't wash it on 60 degrees, but she will be able to put it in the washing machine and be fine. So that's also something I have been working on. Another big project that is in the make is something I have been working on for a few weeks now, and I don't know where I saw it or who was knitting it, but or crocheting it, because it's partly crocheted. But I saw a lot of granny squares or crochet squares appearing everywhere on my Instagram page and those kind of places where you see knitting appear. I saw a lot of crocheted squares, and I had some yarn. I want to make something out, some yarn I dyed myself, and I wanted to make a sample out of it. So I was thinking, well, maybe I will make a crochet sample instead of a knitting sample. And I started crocheting squares, and I used a undyed yarn with the color I dyed, and I am making a jacket or cardigan, however you want to call it. And I really like how this yarn acts in crochet. It really makes me happy. It is a alpaca wool blend, so 80% baby alpaca and 20% wool. And I made all the squares now, so I can put it on. It's way too hot now, but I can try to cope it for a few minutes. So it's not finished, definitely not finished, because it will need a collar, button band and cuffs on the sleeve and stuff. But it will be a v-neck, and this is my widest, lowest part of the part up here. And there will be a button band and collar, I think this wide, so it will be more covering up here. And yeah, I really like it. I don't know if I can show you how long it is. It is like just on the hips, and I was thinking of making it shorter, but that would mean I would only wear it on skirts and stuff, and I think it will be like a jacket for winter, because it's really hot, because of the alpaca content, of course. So I think I want to use it as a outside cardigan, and then it is nice that it's a little bit longer, so I can wear it over a skirt and on jeans, if I ever wear jeans. So that's very nice. And the only downside of crocheting squares and putting them together is, I don't know if you can see, but I have to weave in so many ends. It's just not fun anymore. I started weaving them in at the bottom, and I think I will just stitch them away on the edges where I want to pick up for knitting, and then I will knit everything I want to knit. First I block it, I think, and then I knit it, and then I will deal with the ends later. I will still have to do it, because I don't feel okay not doing it. I did it once and those squares came loose eventually, so securing the ends is not only for the aesthetic part but also for the construction, because I don't want holes in my cardigan, of course. So yeah, that's something I'm very, very happy about, and I will have to work on that quite a lot, because this needs to be finished for Breidagen, which are 14th and 15th of October. Check it in the description bar, because I'm not quite sure, but it's the weekend, the Friday and the Saturday around the 15th of October, and this will be a sample there to show people the material and what you can do with yarn. So that's very excited, but it needs to be done. So that's something I'm focusing on at the moment. There are some things I am knitting on. One of them is a design I can't show yet, so that's something you will see when it's finished. Another thing is something I posted on my Instagram page months ago. I had knit the little yellow sweater by Andrea Mowry. I always struggle with that name, and every time when I read it I think like, oh, that's something you can pronounce, but when I have to do it by heart it's always difficult. I knit that cardigan completely. I finished it, there were buttons on it, I wore it a few times, but I made a mistake with the amount of stitches on the needle. So I had 2 stitches too many, and I only noticed that when I was joining the sleeves to the body, because she knitted bottom up, and when I was joining the sleeves to the body I noticed that there was something off and I had 10 stitches too many. So what I did is I changed the placement of the sleeves, and so the back would be fitting, so it would be symmetrical, so the sleeves were on the side. But what happened is that I had too much fabric for my size, and especially at the front it was not right. There was too much space, it didn't fit like I wanted it to fit, so it was laying in my closet and I just didn't do anything, and it was there. It was just annoying. So what I did a few months back is that I cut off the sleeves. No, I didn't cut them off. I ripped out the complete sweater. The only part I had to cut was the bind off, because it was a rolling, how do you say that? The bind off with the Kitchener stitch at the end, so the stitches will roll over, if you will, like a tubular. That's the word I was looking for, the tubular bind off, and that's very hard to pick out. So I cut it off and I unraveled the sweater. I did not unravel the sleeves completely. I only unraveled a bit because I did make an alteration in the sleeve size as well, and that was not necessary. So yeah, I ripped out a bit and knit them back to the length and the amount of stitches that I need to finish the cardigan. And I ripped out the whole body of the cardigan because there were too many stitches, and I started over. So I already did the ribbing, and I started with the body of the cardigan with the lace and bubble pattern at the front 2 sides. So at the middle of the front you have on both sides a little lace and bubble detail. So that's something I have been working on. It's laying around for some time, not touched. Now this was my swimming pool project. So that's a strange word to say. My eldest son had swimming lessons every week, and you need to wait, so I always took my knitting, and this was the project I was working on there. But he got 2 swimming diplomas now, so he finished swimming. He doesn't want to go further for a 3rd. So yeah, this is lying around doing nothing because I'm not waiting there anymore. My youngest child will also go swimming soon, I hope, for swimming lessons. So this will get some love then, because then I have to wait there again to to be there when something happens and to pick him up and stuff. So this will get love in that period, I think. The yarn holds up very nice. So I have all these balls because I ripped it out. I do have a few leftover skeins, but I don't know where at the moment. It's biches and bûshes lambswool, I think. I think that's the yarn I used. Again, look underneath the video. I dropped the ball. Yeah, it's very nice, and of course it's a little wrinkly now because I took the sweater out, but I don't notice it in my knitting, and I think my stitches are still even enough for me not to worry about that. It's used yarn because I used the sweater, but it's not in a bad shape, so that's very nice, and I'm very happy that I did it because it was just a waste of time, money of course because I bought the yarn, but especially time because it took me so long to finish it. It's a very thin fingering weight sweater, and I'm knitting it on 3mm needles, 3mm needles, and the ribbing is on an even smaller needle. So it took so much time, and then you finish it and it doesn't fit like you want it to fit, and then it's just laying there, and I spent all those hours finishing something I would not use, so I rather spend even more time in it. That's something I like than having something I don't like. I don't know if that makes sense for everybody. I know there are people that said I was crazy with doing this. You know who I mean if you're looking. But I think it makes me feel better. So that's something that's on the needles at the moment. I'm looking at the time because I have to pick up my children from school in a few minutes. I have time for a few things more. I'm knitting on a sock. That's nothing special. I can show you, like, I finished one, I think. Oh, I haven't touched this for a while. Yeah, I have one finished one. So I'm knitting the second sock. Definitely second sock syndrome, because this was finished so fast, and this is just, again, I will speak about second sock syndrome in another video. It's a whole world on its own. I don't use a pattern when knitting my socks for most of the time, so I did some ribbing up here. I think it's 3x1 ribbing this time. I knitted for the length of the leg that I wanted. I did a slip stitch heel. Does my camera want to focus? Let me see, yes. So I did a slip stitch heel and yeah, like a heel flap and gusset kind of heel, because that's what fits my feet the best. I'm a little rusty in my English. And I knit the foot of the sock and the toe, and I started the second one. This is also hand dyed by me. It's on my merino silk rami base, and I really love that for socks. So yeah, lots of fun knitting that. Not much to say about a sock. let me see. I ripped something else out. I was knitting the tripartite Stephen West's design. It's like a vest, but you can also wear it as a scarf or a wrap, or you can wear it in many ways. I finished half of it, and then this was the yarn I used. I finished half of the design, or maybe one third, because there also has to, doesn't matter. I finished a lot. I put it away, and it was just not the way I expected it, and it was not because of the pattern, because I will definitely make the pattern another time out of another yarn, because it was the combination of the yarn and the design that just wouldn't match. So it was too sloppy to my taste. So I'm going to use this yarn for something else. And if you know a nice design out of a lace yarn, this is the amount I have, but there is like more than 600 meters on one skein. So I have 1200 meters. If you know a design that would be perfect for this yarn, just let me know. I'm still looking. The most of the things I do like need more yarn or way less than I have. So I'm still not sure. If you know something, just let me know, because I really like that yarn. It's naturally dyed. It's Finnish, I think. Oh yeah, it's Finnish, and I'm not gonna try to pronounce this. I don't know if you can see. Can you see? Oh yeah. Oh, there's a lot of light in the room. It just doesn't want to focus, right? Oh yeah, there it is. I don't know if you can read it. I can't pronounce it, that's for sure. It's Finnish. It's very lovely. It's very soft, I think. It's a rustic, non-superwash yarn, but it's a single, so it's not plied. It's a single yarn, and that makes it very soft. So that needs a project. And there is something I think I might frog, and that's this project. I used these two colors. Those are not shop colors. I dyed them up because there was I think it was the women football Eurovision contest, something like that. It was before the pandemic, so yeah, a long time ago. I dyed this up, and I was thinking to have something to knit when I watch the games, which is very fun, but it never got finished. It's a stripy project. Let me see if I can find the middle part. So it's I was designing something without knowing what I'm gonna make, so I started in the middle and I did some very big yarn over increases, and I really like that. And then I started knitting on one side, and it continues and continues and continues. And the idea is that you have like a very wide shawl scarf that's not too deep, because a lot of patterns that are constructed from the middle, which I really like, are very deep and cover my complete body almost, which is fun, but I wanted something different. But it has been so long since I knit on this that I either have to just start knitting on it again, or I really have to forget and do something else. But now I feel it, and oh, it feels so nice and drapey and stuff. So I think I might just figure out what I was doing and start over. Not start over, but continue, because yeah, it feels really fun and nice, and it's a completely different shape than I have ever seen, so that's already fun. We will see, but that's something I found and I'm not sure what to do. What do you think? use the yarn for something else beautiful or throw it. I'm not sure. I think it's time for me to stop. Yes, because I have to pick up my children at school. I will say thank you for watching. I will record pretty soon again because I want to talk about color choices for the Stephen West mystery make along that's happening in October. I decided I will join, but I haven't picked out my colors yet, and I would like to share some things about that, but I will do that in another video because the children go first always. Bye, see you next time.